What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hunter here from Nerd Entertainment Network, and this is the All Elite Breakdown, everything in the world of All Elite Wrestling AEW. I'm joined by my co-host, Kirby French. How's it going, man?
Hello. I'm doing great. Just got off work. Like I said, I would have watched All Out again today if I hadn't been at work. But yeah, it was a hell of a show.
Hell of a show. And surprisingly, you said that this was your first full AEW event that you watched.
Yeah, I ever since they first premiered, I've been like aware of them, and I've seen like the results and stuff, and I knew like what was going on. But yeah, this was the first show that I've actually like watched beginning to end. I remember I saw the CM Punk clip. I saw Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega when he won the Impact title.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't even think I had seen a full AEW match besides Omega versus Cage.
Wow.
So yeah, this was. If I'm gonna start watching AEW, this is gonna be the starting point with the CM Punk and with the all the rumors from going around, and so yeah, this was I think a great place to start.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna want to start watching more consistently.
See, that's a really cool dynamic between us. You just started with this event. I've been a fan since the very beginning. So you kind of see like the dynamic there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, and it is also because like it just seemed like a lot to get into like a new promotion, but I was like, there are a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people that I can like latch onto, and it's just like WWE is getting harder and harder to be invested in because it's like, your favorite wrestler might get fired tomorrow, and
you never
like
know.
all like the shitty business practices, and like, listen, I love Roman Reigns and I love what he's doing, but the man can only do so much, like for a company. And
that is very fair.
Like SummerSlam really kicked me in the balls. Like with like the whole
Bianca.
Becky Lynch thing, and Barry and Bianca and fucking Goldberg. Like there's only so much I'm willing to
Apparently Taker's coming back too, and I'm just like, why?
Oh, fuck's sake.
So let's get into the proper card. We did start off with we had a kickoff show to begin with, which was a 10-man tag match. Pretty fun opening kickoff match. I don't know if you watched it. I watched the kickoff show.
I did not watch it because I got off work and the show was already almost over, so I just started watching the main show. I didn't even think about the pre-show, but I heard good things about it. I really like what I see from Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
I saw like highlights of his match with Pac, and that was just so good, so good.
Yeah.
I might go back and watch that at some point tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a good match. It's a good chaotic 10-man tag match, which AEW does really well with their tag divisions, multi-man matches, things like that. You really get a lot of time with a lot of people, which I love. But the main card kicks off with the TNT Championship match, the champion Miro defending his championship against the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. All right, so as someone who's coming into All Out as their first event, what did you think about this opening match?
I thought this was a great way to open the show. I know who Miro is. I've always been a big fan of Rusev. I've heard of Eddie Kingston. So is Eddie Kingston one of the guys that was involved in that like weird baseball bat thing on Impact a few years ago?
No, that was Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan.
Eddie Edwards, okay, different guy. But I know that he's got
one's from New York, one's from New York, one's from Boston.
Oh, gotcha. I know. So then I know Eddie Kingston has like a friendship with Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
And
he was also I'm not sure if you watched Impact at all recently, but when Santana and Ortiz were over there in Impact, he was their manager under the LAX faction. So that's how I knew of Eddie Kingston.
Okay. But but yeah, it was a really good opening. I really liked the idea of like this unstoppable like monster. Like he was able to find a weakness and was trying to
Mhm.
exploit it the whole match. I like that through line. And like the stuff with the ref, I thought was like a really good story to tell. And like just a split second, and he would have beaten him, but the
Yeah.
turnbuckle pad and all that stuff. Yeah, the ref
Yeah.
was the biggest heel of the match.
He was the biggest heel of the night. What are you talking about?
Mhm.
Nah, but you could tell the crowd was so behind Eddie Kingston, which I
Yeah,
love
for sure.
because it's a natural reaction. Um,
Yeah,
but the one thing I do love about this match and this whole Miro's storyline and this whole like finding the weakness in the kryptonite is it's based in real life. The DDT is his kryptonite because Miro has a bad neck. He's broken his neck multiple times and has had to have surgery on it. So incorporating, hey, if I plant this dude on his head, that's going to stun him is a realistic storyline because you're taking it from real life.
yeah. And another thing I appreciate about the show overall is I really enjoy the crowd that AEW has been able to bring, because
Yeah.
Miro is one of those guys like that you would think would get cheered despite the fact that he's a heel, but they were booing him. Like
Mm-hmm.
you see that a lot in other companies and stuff. If a heel is like popular, they'll still get cheered regardless. But I feel like throughout pretty much the whole show, like maybe with the exception of like I feel like Britt Baker kind of got some cheers, but aside from that, like the heels got booed and the faces
Yep.
got cheered, which was a nice kind of refreshing thing to see.
Well, it's because AEW knows how to build characters. They know how to build characters you like and characters you hate, like MJF. Because fuck that dude.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I am also aware of MJF. I've seen the gif of him flipping off the little kid. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah.
yeah, the match ends. Kingston hits the I believe it's called the Urukai, the spinning back fist into a DDT.
Mm-hmm.
Referee is distracted by trying to put the turnbuckle back in. Miro then hits one Machka kick and then another kick to pin Eddie Kingston. One thing I do love is that Eddie Kingston is the first man to break out of the game over.
Really?
Yeah, no one has been able to break
Wow.
out of it, get to the ropes, anything. When he locks it in, it's over.
I was not aware of that. That's
because
cool.
Kingston was so close to the ropes, it protects both the finisher and Kingston in
Right.
the same time.
Yeah. So you can still build up to a moment where somebody like actually just straight up breaks out of it without using the ropes. So you still have that in
the
your back
One-Winged
pocket.
Angel.
Yeah.
No one has kicked out of it. In Japan, in AEW, no one's kicked out of it.
Yeah, that I knew.
But I have a theory about that. I feel like Heyman Page is going to be the first one to kick out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard as well.
Next, we have
the
battle I was looking forward to because I knew this one was going to be a brawl. Jon Moxley taking on Kojima from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I do have a few notes right here. Starts off with a battle of strikes, just elbowing and forearming each other, chopping each other. So right off the bat, it starts off with a strong style, New Japan style battle. Kojima hits Moxley with a superplex, then a DDT on the apron, which then cuts Moxley's elbow. Moxley counters. Yeah, that was really brutal. So Moxley counters a lariat from Kojima into a superplex, which was a really cool transition because he knows cat alert. I love it. Because Kojima's finisher is the right arm lariat. So Moxley being able to transition from the lariat into the suplex is a really cool transition from both guys. Moxley hits a regal knee into a left arm lariat by Kojima, which is not a finisher. Which then I love this moment. The rolling elbow from Kojima. Moxley does the spin back into the lariat, into the clothesline. And then Moxley reverses a right arm lariat from Kojima into a DDT and then into a full paradigm shift for the victory.
Yeah, one thing that impressed me about this is so the two guys involved and also the commentary team did such a good job of putting over the lariat that even me, somebody who I think Kojima is like the only person on the show that I had absolutely zero knowledge of. I've never heard of this guy. I've never seen his matches, and yet I was still able to understand if this guy hits that lariat, it's fucking
What's up?
over. And so I was impressed at their ability to even make someone new like me like completely understand that. And even like the left arm one, the commentary team was all like, I mean, it wasn't the right arm, so it wasn't as
Yeah.
impactful. So I like that through line. And
Yeah, but also like I love how the commentary team don't shy away from people's past. They'll bring up PWG and New Japan and bring up the history of Kojima as, you know, the first G1 Climax winner and the first person to win the All Japan tournament, the G1 style tournament there at the same time. Who brings up that he's a former NWA World Champion. Like, the wrestling lineage and legends still survive.
Yeah. They don't just like act like this is a brand new person who's never wrestled before.
It's not like WWE where like Sting comes back and you're just like, he's been sleeping for 7 years.
Yeah, right. Or when even if it's someone from their own company like Dewdrop, as if she didn't exist on NXT. Like,
Piper Niven. Yeah,
Piper Niven. But yeah, one thing I'll say is that the second paradigm shift kind of looks like a suplex more than anything. But
yeah,
I mean,
kind of lifts up and then does it.
Yeah, as opposed to like the smaller lift and then dropping down, he like went all the way over. But yeah, I thought that was solid. It was also cool of him to like feel the need to do 2 paradigm shifts.
Yep.
Kind of give the respect to Kojima.
Yeah. Then right after this match, you hear the music of the king. Minoru Suzuki makes his debut in AEW. Suzuki comes in the ring, stands face to face with Mox, gets him in the what's it called, the rear naked choke into the God style pile driver, and that match has been confirmed for Wednesday night on Dynamite. I am super stoked for that match.
Yeah, so Suzuki is someone who I've like seen like pictures of and stuff, and I was aware that he was like a big time
Murder Grandpa
fan. Yeah, Murder Grandpa. And so, but I wasn't really aware of who he was like character wise, other than the fact that like he's like an ass kisser or ass kicker, I should say.
Ass kisser.
Yeah, no. Don't tell him I said that. But what was great about this segment is that it told me absolutely everything I needed to know about this guy. Like him and Mox just like letting each other hit each other and like laughing about it the whole time. Like I thought that was so great. And yeah, everything you need to know is right there without any words needing to be spoken. Just 2 like batshit crazy guys just beating the hell out of each other.
Yep, and you could tell on Moxley's face when you heard that music, you see how scared he was.
Yeah.
Something. All right, so next we go into the AEW World's Women's Championship match. Champion Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on Chris Statlander. This was a really great match. I saw I have notes on this one too. Immediately, Britt goes for the lockjaw. Like right off the bat, she tries to hit her finisher. And I like that because she sees that Statlander could be the biggest threat to her title.
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to get it over with quickly. Chris stops the DMD chant with the boot to the nose. I love it. She takes her arm and then makes her boop her own nose. It's amazing.
And even the way like Britt Baker was like selling it, like no, I don't want to. Like,
I love it. So Chris hits a mule kick into the corner. Britt stops her momentum with a top rope fisherman's neck breaker, which looked so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Just boom.
That was like slick as hell.
Yeah. So Britt is pretty much throughout this whole match is softening up Chris's neck for the lockjaw. Britt plants Chris with a DDT. Chris lands on her forehead, which that fucking sell. She just like domes herself.
If you would have shown like people in like the 80s and 90s how people are going to sell DDTs today, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Just fall on your knees like everyone else. What are they doing?
Dude.
But, yeah, that was brutal.
Granted, if you told Jake Roberts that his finisher back in the 80s would not be a finisher anymore, he would have said you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
So Chris adjusted midair for a superplex, which I believe they almost fell. And
that was crazy.
Yeah, for Chris to be able to use her strength to position both of them up to pretty much protect both of them from breaking their necks.
Honestly, the strength on Chris Statlander was, it wasn't even like she adjusted on the top. She basically almost like paused while she was holding her to readjust. Like, that was insane. That's hard enough to do like on level ground. To do it up on the turnbuckle is just, I don't know how you like get that kind of strength.
It's insane. So Chris attempts the area 451, the 450 splash, misses it. Britt gets half the lockjaw position, and then transitions that into a crossface. Chris powers out, attempts the pendulum shooting star, but Britt moves, and she lands directly on her face.
Yeah,
then right after, Britt hits the curb stomp off the stairs, and then you get one of my favorite moments in this whole fucking match.
Oh,
Orange Cassidy screamed at Chris Miller to get in the ring.
Yeah, that was good. He like takes his glasses off and everything.
That is the most like intense I've ever seen Orange Cassidy in his entire career. He said, "Get up."
I'm glad I had enough knowledge of Orange Cassidy to still like appreciate that moment. So even I was all like, "Oh, whoa, look at him go."
Yeah, like at that point, you know it's serious. And then
and it's also like it's a nice touch that like even if Orange Cassidy doesn't necessarily take himself seriously, he like takes his friends more seriously than himself, which I think is a cool touch to his character.
Definitely. Then we gotta talk about it. Britt Baker hitting the Pittsburgh Sunrise.
Yeah, right. So is that not something that she normally does?
No, she almost never hits that move.
Ah, okay. So that was a little.
And she chose to use it tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The great foreshadowing.
Real subtle.
Real subtle. I love it though. So after that, Chris kicks out, and then Britt locks in the lockjaw to retain the championship.
She also had a stomp that Chris kicked out too.
Yeah.
Really putting over Chris Statlander in a good way.
I mean, she's like, what, 12-1 now? Something like that?
Yeah, I think the commentary mentioned that. But yeah, three finishers basically in a row to keep her down.
Yep. All right, next is my match of the night. The World Tag Team Championships are on the line. The Young Bucks taking on the Lucha Bros.
Match of the night. This might be match of the fucking year.
I know. Which is funny because the last time the Lucha Bros and the Bucks fought off with a stipulation on the line, that was match of the year also. So, yeah, I have tons. Like, look, literally tons and tons and tons of notes for this match.
It's like, how can you even break this match down? Like, it was going a million miles an hour. It's like, this match is almost comparable to, like, the TLC match at WrestleMania X7. Where it's like, it just never stops.
Yeah.
From bell to bell.
All right, so I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can do it. They start off great tag team wrestling immediately. Phoenix and Nick Jackson have Penta and Matt in the double wrist lock. Both do a spring up to the top. Phoenix hits Hurricanrana on Nick Jackson off of Matt Jackson's back or shoulder area. Lucha Bros hit the Punisher on Matt. I'm not sure what they called it, but it was pretty much a what's up with a drop kick.
Oh yeah, I thought they were doing the "What's up," and I was like, "What's happening right now?" But yeah, he did
Fucking double drop kick, which is worse.
Yeah, for real.
So the Bucks take control after the Lucha Brothers both hit the cage at full force. Nick hits Phoenix with a Enzuigiri onto Matt's knees, and then hits a springboard foot stomp, then hits Penta with a backstabber who is in the corner. If that made any sense.
Yeah, no, I'm like trying to remember. I was like, oh yeah, that was like early in the match.
Yeah, so it was a double foot stomp with Phoenix on Matt's knees. Then Nick rolls through and hits Penta with a backstabber.
Yeah, it's just it's just like so like fast and fluid. It's almost like it's like you have to like see a replay to like fully like comprehend.
I've had to watch the match like 3 times already just to realize.
I bet, yeah, because it seems like it's all like one move because they just don't stop.
Yeah, there's no stopping.
Like all of a sudden they're on the other side of the ring doing a continuation of the tag team move they just did on someone else.
Yep.
And now they're doing it's like they're like robots. It's crazy.
Yeah. So Brandon Cutler, who's outside, throws a gym bag into the cage that has Nike shoes with thumbtacks on, like in the sole, like glued to the sole.
Just the best kind of ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. So good.
This moment I love because they're about to kick Phoenix in the face, and a bloody Penta, as the older brother, steps in and takes the super kick with the thumbtacks right to the fucking head for his brother.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. It reminded me of DIY versus Authors of Pain, the ladder match where Gargano pushed Ciampa out of the way and took the ladder to the face. Yeah. I like stuff like that a lot.
So Penta's obviously bleeding at this point.
I think I let out an audible "aw" when he did that, and I'm like sitting here watching it alone, and I think I actually let out like an audible like "aw" when he got in front of him.
So did I. So Nick throws Penta into Matt's tacks into the shoes, which just again looks so brutal.
Yeah. And he's like pulling him like into the.
He has mask get stuck, and they have to pull it. Ow.
Yeah.
So skipping some, Penta hits a top rope Canadian Destroyer.
Get the fuck out of here!
Just from the top.
And it's funny because like that's like one of the lesser moments of the match. Like that's the kind of thing where you're like, oh yeah, that's right. He hit a fucking top rope Canadian Destroyer. I almost forgot about that because of all the other crazy shit that happened in this match.
You didn't watch their ladder match they had at the original All Out. Penta hit a fucking Canadian Destroyer off a ladder on Nick Jackson through a fucking table.
God. These men are crazy.
And you're just like, amazing. Phoenix goes to the top of the cage and tries to hit a foot stomp Fear Factor. I'm just like, I don't know how that's going to work because you will polarize both your knees.
I was so relieved when it was broken up and it happened. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, because I was like, don't do that. You're going to die.
You're going to die. So Nick follows him up. Phoenix kicks him off and dives onto everybody, almost like a Rey Mysterio circa 2002 dive off the cage.
Yeah, I remember like being at first. I was a little bit annoyed at that because Penta just then immediately gets back up, and it's like, well, wouldn't he feel the same effect that the Bucks did because he hit it with it too? But then I was like, I guess you could make the argument that like he had the Bucks in front of him, so they took more of the hit than he did.
And
so I was like, I guess you can
also rolled afterward, so the momentum he rolled forward into the finish.
Yeah, so I guess you could like make that justification for it.
Yeah. Then Penta and Phoenix hit the spike pile driver on Nick, which I love this. Phoenix, instead of just looking, he fucking dives on top.
Yeah, I love it. He's like holding the ropes. Yeah, and you see Malik flailing his arm. Yeah, great finish.
And the Lucha Bros win the titles. I was jumping for joy. One of my favorite tag teams, man, in AEW, Lucha Bros.
Yeah.
My God, what a fucking match.
Yeah, I remember like when I heard about the Lucha Bros being a tag team, I was like, oh man, because I kind of was hoping that like Pentagon would have like a singles run, but after A, learning that they're actually brothers, and B, like, because at first I was like, oh, they just paired together because they're two Lucha guys, but I didn't know they were actually brothers. And then also like seeing what they can do as a tag team, it's like, okay, I'm okay with this now.
But also,
especially showing how like seriously they take the tag team division.
Yeah,
it's like it's just as important as the singles title.
And that's why I love what AEW is doing with their teams division. They have one of the best tag team divisions pretty much ever at this point, like in any promotion. But they treat the tag team division just like they do the singles division. They both matter. It's not like in WWE where like they forget they have tag teams at some points.
Honestly,
and you're just like yeah.
Like speaking of which, I just saw a post that they're doing like a 7 tag team turmoil, and I was like, they have 7 tag teams.
They have 7 tag teams.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't even realize they had 7.
And AEW's over here like, yeah, you know, we have 14, 15 good tag teams.
They had a whole tournament that just happened.
Yeah. All right, so up next to calm everyone down from that insanity, we have a pretty damn good battle royal.
Yeah, there were some like weird decisions I thought here. Like they made a point to like put over Blue Sky, and then she didn't do anything, and it was eliminated.
Sky Blue, I think.
There's what?
Oh no, it is Blue Sky, and I don't know why I have it reversed right here.
Oh, yeah, Blue Sky, right?
I thought it was Sky Blue,
or Sky Blue. It might be Sky Blue.
Yeah, it's Sky Blue.
Sky Blue. Okay, yeah, whatever. But yeah, they made a point to like put her over, and like she got a big reaction from the crowd, and then was just like immediately eliminated, and the crowd was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And like they even like started booing.
I get that though because it was Nyla Rose who eliminated her.
Yeah, but then like also like I think there might have been a botch with Rio.
That's what I thought.
Even the commentary team was like confused as to whether or not she was eliminated. And like, I mean, she was the first AEW Women's Champion, so I would expected her to have a good showing. And then again, she didn't really do anything, and then was gone maybe on accident. It was kind of unclear. But I mean, yeah. But I will say, like, I'm all in on Thunder Rosa just from this match alone.
Yes.
I really, really like her. I like her.
Go back and watch her and Britt Baker Lights Out. I've
heard about that. I've seen the picture of Britt Baker and her bloody face. She looks like she doesn't even know where she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go back and watch that.
So I have all the sets of competitors that came in first. So we have Clubs is up first. So it's Shida, Sky Blue, Emi Sakura, which I love Sakura because her whole thing is she's a huge Freddie Mercury fan. She comes out normally with the yellow suit, the mustache, the microphone is amazing. The bunny, and then Abaddon. Abaddon is really fucking good.
So I remember a few months ago, just in my YouTube recommended, it recommended me a video of the bunny and her YouTube channel, like Ali something or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was doing Oreo reviews, and she had Abaddon with her, and Abaddon was in character for the whole thing, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I was
like, the greatest YouTube recommendations ever. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, she does regular Oreo review videos, and I love Oreos, and so I was like, "Ooh, I'm interested in this." And Abaddon was there, and Abaddon was just like not talking and just like the whole time, and it was really fucking funny. But yeah, so Abaddon seems really cool, and yeah, the bunny, she's part of some faction, right?
Yeah, she's part of the Hardy Family Office with Matt Hardy.
Okay, yeah, a lot of factions in AEW.
which I love. I love the use of
Yeah,
factions.
I assume that they don't just break them up for no reason every
No,
other week.
no, this is
Cough,
not
cough, hurt,
WWE.
cough, cough, hurt business. Cough, cough. I'm still not
Oh my
okay
god.
about that.
So next are Diamonds. You have Anna Jay, Kiera Hogan, Diamante, Nyla Rose, and Kylan King. Hearts are next with Thunder Rosa, Penelope Ford, Riho, Jamie Hayter, Big Swole. Spades are last with Jade Cargill, Ty Conti, Red Velvet, Rebel, and Layla Hirsch.
Mhm.
Then let's just get to it.
Yeah.
The Joker is revealed. I had a theory. Is it going to be this person or is it going to be AJ Lee?
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
And well, technically I had three because I thought Awesome Kong was going to come back because I know she just debuted in NWA at Empower, so I was just like, maybe.
Did
But
she announce her retirement?
did she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at NWA she like gave a speech about Gail Kim and said that she was retiring
Oh,
from
well,
wrestling.
goes to show what I know apparently. But
Yeah.
the Joker is revealed to be Ruby Soho, formerly Ruby Riot. Awesome. She actually comes out to the song Ruby Soho by Rancid, which is amazing.
Nice.
They actually
Nice.
got the rights. Yeah, they actually got the rights to that song for her to use it. And what's great about it is the crowd was chanting her name as the countdown was coming.
Yeah, like before she even showed up. Yeah.
And I actually saw an interview with her afterwards at the scrimmage or whatever that they or the post show they do.
The press thing that they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that while I was at work today, and she's like, yeah, just like the emotion coming off of her was just so nice.
And you could see on her face when she came out because she knew she heard the entire crowd chanting her name, like before she even came. So like, I just can't imagine what she was thinking at that moment.
Right. But yeah, and so like this is another thing where like again, I feel like until she won the match, I feel like she wasn't really utilized that much in the match itself. Like you would think that she would come down and just start hitting finishers on everybody and have that big like moment, but she kind of just gets like she's just kind of getting beaten up on the side for a while until the end, and then she wins. Which like I mean, I guess like I get they got to the result they wanted to anyway, but I feel like this didn't really showcase the woman as well as it could have.
I feel like one, to debut her in this type of match is really good because you have a lot of people for her to work off of.
Yeah.
Like her and Jade Cargill, her and Nyla Rose, really good interactions with those. But again, yeah, you're right. You don't get to see her often, and that's because it is a battle royal. I mean, there's a lot of people you have to
like. I don't know how sold I am on the structure of a casino battle royal. Like, I get it. I get you don't just want to have a generic battle royal, and I get that you don't want to just do a carbon copy of a Royal Rumble. But I don't know. I feel like by having them come in like 5 people at a time, you sort of don't. They don't really get an opportunity to shine individually, and it's just a little clunky. But I mean, I get it in theory, and I think that like just with some tweaks here and there, I think they might be able to figure out sort of a better way to do it. But for what it was trying to do, and the fact that they have one person come in at the end, like you kind of get the desired result. But yeah, I mean, just like it's kind of like minor criticisms of the structure of the match in general.
I kind of wish instead of doing the battle royal, they would just take the top 5 or top 6 in the ranking system and put them in like a casino ladder match.
Yeah. Or even like if you want to do like, even if you want to do like a shock return at the end, you could just do like a gauntlet match or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the idea of the casino battle royal because it's unique, and also you do get that Joker debut. Like it's really cool to be like, oh, Matt Sydal, Brian Cage,
Yeah.
Awesome Kong. You just you never know who's gonna show up in that Joker position.
Yeah.
But there are some things that can be tweaked in that to make it work better.
Right. And I mean, they're still young. The company's still young. I'm sure they'll find it. Ways to make it work.
So we have the final three are Ruby, Nyla, and Thunder Rosa, which great final three.
Yeah.
So Rosa eliminates Nyla Rose, which was really good for her. Then you have kind of a mini match in the middle of this battle royal.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting either like a bunch of people were gonna gang up and eliminate Nyla Rose. I thought either that or Thunder Rosa was gonna do it by herself. I thought one of those two things gonna happen, and I was right. So that was cool to see. Even though Nyla Rose didn't win the match, her being the one to eliminate. I'm sorry. With Thunder Rosa not winning the match, her being the one to eliminate Nyla Rose was still
made her look strong.
Yeah.
So then they have a mini battle on the apron, and then Ruby hits a Enziguri or destination kick, I should say, to eliminate Thunder Rosa, and Ruby Soho will take on Britt Baker for the AEW Women's World Championship. That's going to be an incredible match.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that one.
Because, and what's cool is oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
What's cool about that is you have one person who is going to be clearly the heel, and one person that's clearly going to be the face. It's not going to be the mixed reactions that we got in the Statlander Baker match.
Yeah, I think that also depends on like the city that they're in.
See, I don't think so. That's going to be. I think no matter what city you're in, AEW has done a great way of being like, these are the faces, these are the heels. You can cheer for whoever you want, you can boo for whoever you want, but the crowd is with them. The crowd is going to cheer for who they want, boo who they make or they design to boo.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's pretty clear that like the fans are very much behind Ruby Soho even before she showed up, because like that thing, like WWE has this thing where like they didn't necessarily do it with Ruby, but you'll see them like if wrestlers are like on their way out, they'll like do this like petty thing where they'll make them look as bad as possible. But like, we're not dumb. We know that they're not the ones behind. We know what you're doing. Like, you're not going to make us like them less. You're not going to make us like them less because like you give them dumb scripts.
I mean,
or give them dumb gimmicks.
Matt Cardona.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he got released, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the Indies, and then I'm going to be the fucking GCW World Champion.
Yeah, I'm going to be a fucking deathmatch guy. Like, like nothing, we know who these people are, we know what they're capable of, and we know that we like them. You're not going to make us forget that because you put them in, like, dumb costumes and give them dumb lines to say.
This just shows that Vince needs to retire.
But I mean, like, and with Ruby, like, they didn't do anything like egregious to her or anything, but she was just sidelined for so long. But we still, like, we know who she is, we know what she's capable of, and we know what she can do in AEW, which is why the fans were so excited to see her, even though WWE hadn't given us a reason to be excited for her in so long.
Yeah, and that's where, going off a little tangent here before we move on to the next match, I really get annoyed with the WWE fanboys who always say AEW is nothing but ex-WWE guys. And I just want to tell them, hey, do you know how many of the main roster and NXT stars were former Ring of Honor, New Japan,
PWG,
Impact Wrestling stars? That's pretty much all of NXT at one point.
Yeah, honestly.
That's half your main roster. Like, what's the difference? WWE is releasing all these stars. It's not like when they leave the big W, they can't wrestle anywhere else. That'd be stupid.
Yeah,
They're still
because like what are you gonna do if you're AEW? Like, oh, I
let's
would like
not
to
get
sign
some of
this
the best
person.
talent in the world.
Yeah, like, oh, I would like to hire this person. Oh, but they worked for another company, so I guess I can't have them. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's
And
stupid.
and also, especially like watching this show, like yeah, you have these ex-WWE people, but like take like Miro for example. Miro is facing Eddie Kingston. CM Punk is facing Darby Allin. Like
Chris
it's not
Jericho's
like
facing MJF.
yeah. Like Kenny Omega is facing Christian Cage. It's not like they're just only pushing former WWE guys. Like
Yeah.
they're using their star power to elevate the entire roster.
I mean, the only champion in AEW who's an ex WWE guy is Miro
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
in the whole company.
Yeah, and even like yeah, their first champion was Jericho, and that was pretty clearly because like he was the biggest star they had.
That makes
But even
sense.
the second, but even the second one, like John Moxley, like yeah, he's an ex-WWE guy, but he's also like he was like the hottest commodity in the company. So of course you're gonna
Well,
put the
that
title on
plus,
him,
I mean, before he was the ex WWE guy, he was an ex ZCW guy. So
right? Yeah. Like he was like majorly popular. You're not gonna not push somebody if they're majorly popular just because they used to work somewhere else. So it doesn't make any fucking business sense.
all right. So speaking of MJF and Chris Jericho, we move on to that match. I fucking love this opening entrance. MJF is such a dick.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. He got me. He got me good.
He comes out to you see the countdown to the millennium. 5, 4, 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. And you think Jericho's gonna come out for one last run, and it says Jericho's last match. And you're just like, you fucker.
Because I saw that and I was like, wait, does he still do the countdown? And I was like, I don't think because he doesn't go by Y2J anymore. And I was like, I guess this is like a callback thing. And then yeah, it was MJF. What a dick. What a dick.
So Jericho comes out to a instrumental version of Judas, his theme song. I don't know if that one worked as well as they wanted it to. I think the crowd was off key. I think the guitarist didn't know where to go a little bit.
Yeah, and I know I saw his entrance where he wasn't allowed to have his music, so the crowd sang it for him. And I guess they saw that and they were like, so we'll have them sing along to just the guitar. I could see the line of thinking there. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't quite in sync.
That was something though that you couldn't replicate if you tried because the crowd was so behind Jericho. So this is the one time that fans are actually in unison singing a song.
Yeah.
And they're on key. It makes sense. You can clearly hear them singing it. By the way, AEW did something hilarious when they said that Chris Jericho couldn't use the Judas music. All over Twitter, they were like, you could always just sing it. Hear the lyrics.
Yeah. So they were really trying to push that. Yeah,
I love it.
I watched the entrance and they're singing it, and the camera's panning, and you hear one guy just yell, "Fozzy sucks!" like while they're all singing it, and I thought that was pretty funny.
So they fight around the crowd for a little bit. I know a lot of people say that the refereeing in some of these matches are really lax.
Yeah, Jericho just straight up like hit him with something, and I was like, "Wait, did the ref see that? What just happened?"
I understand it because it is a very important match. So for title matches and things like that, they do use referee's discretion, which I'm glad for because it's not like WWE where you get like 30 DQ finishes or 10 count out matches. I can't think of not even 5 times where there's been a count out or a DQ on a card. And that's because the referees understand, hey, if it's a big match, we'll let a lot of stuff go before we start DQing people because it is a
Yeah.
championship match or Jericho's retirement match, or if the build makes sense, they're going to give a lot more leeway, which does make sense.
Okay.
Jericho, so MJF takes advantage. He hits a fucking lion salt from the outside, or from the ropes to the outside and lands on his feet by MJF. That was an impressive move for someone who's not a high flyer.
Yeah, I'm familiar with MJF's character stuff. I'm not really familiar with his in-ring stuff, so I like wasn't sure if that was like something that he would normally bust out, but I wouldn't guess it would be just because of his physique. So yeah, the fact that he landed on his feet was pretty impressive.
Yeah, so MJF is more of a technician. So he does a lot of
that makes sense.
Yeah, so he does a lot more of like rest holds, or he'll target the arm for the Salt of the Earth arm bar. He's more of their more straight technical wrestlers. So to see him, bust out a lion salt, especially against Chris Jericho, was not only a disrespectful heel thing to do, using your opponent's moves against him, but it shows that MJF has to go outside what he's comfortable with to try to beat Jericho.
Yeah.
Jericho hits a fucking lion salt. I'm still surprised the dude can still hit that move.
Yeah, I was worried when he went for it. I was like, oh no! And then like he hit it because he kind of like almost didn't, and then like he did, and I was like, oh god, he didn't break his neck. Okay.
So after MJF hits the lion salt on the outside, Jericho hits him with a pop-up powerbomb on the apron. Shout out to Kevin Owens for that one.
Yeah, I did think about that. Yeah, because he's been on the receiving end of that for sure.
Yeah. And then throughout the whole match, that's the story. MJF's back, his lower back, is really messing with him through this match. And that's what I love. When an injury happens, they'll sell it through the entire match. Like the at the end of which we'll get there, Christian and Omega, when the Bucks come out, they're selling all their injuries, their rib injuries, their knees, things like that. They're still selling throughout the card. So Wardlow comes out, and then before he can get to the ring, Jake Hager comes, and they get in a brawl. I love this use of the timing of the refs, because you get all the refs to pull them apart. So you have at least two referees that are still at ringside.
Yeah, because like the thing that you could sort of like throw as a to criticize them is like, oh well, how come they restarted this match when he had his leg on the rope, but they didn't restart the Miro Eddie Kingston match when he hit the low blow? And it's like, well, there wasn't a referee on the outside of the ring at that match. There were referees out there for this one because
all
the
refs came out to pull apart. And you had two referees who were still out there breaking them apart when the ending happened.
Right. So like they're definitely going the extra mile to make sure that what happens in the matches like makes sense.
Which I love, because AEW is really focused on in-ring storytelling.
Right.
And so the in-ring stuff has to make sense. And it usually does. So MJF hits Jericho with Floyd while the referee is distracted from the brawl. MJF hits the Judas Effect, which, you asshole. He also hits the Code Breaker early on.
Yeah, he did the Code Breaker. Yeah, he's just doing Jericho's moves left and right. Yeah.
And Jericho, MJF pins him 1, 2, 3, but at 2, Jericho's foot hits the rope. The referee doesn't see it. She counts to 3. And then the referee comes out, who were there from the brawl, tells her what happened. They restart the match. They have a little mini match where MJF hits the Salt of the Earth armbar. Jericho rolls out into a Walls of Jericho. He tries a Lion Tamer and he slips. He just keeps the walls locked in. MJF taps for Jericho to win.
Yeah, and I like the build up to that, where it's like a bunch of like roll up stuff, and like you keep thinking that it's gonna end here, and then like really fast.
I was nervous when MJF put the Salt of the Earth on Jericho. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, beat him twice. Yeah, man, wouldn't that be a bitch? they do the fake out and then reverse the match and then he still loses anyway. That'd be fucked up.
Dude, if they would have done that, I would have actually loved it.
Yeah.
Because Jericho,
nuclear heat.
great. Yes, one, it puts MJF over as a total douchebag heel, but also like Jericho's getting really good at commentary, and I thought that he was going to lose this match and just do commentary from now on.
Yeah, I mean, being 50, it's like, what does he really even need to be in the ring for at this point? Like,
I think what it is he sees guys like Cole coming in. He's like, I can work with this. I can work with Cole. I can work with Brian again. I can work with Khan.
I would like to see Jericho and Cole, just like the promos back and forth.
Yes.
It could be really good.
Yes. Speaking of CM Punk, we move on to CM Punk versus Darby. Before we have that, we have the big show, Paul White versus QT Marshall match.
I thought that was after Punk and Darby Allin.
Was it after? I thought it was before.
I think it was, because I remember because it was right before the main event, because it's sort of like a a palate cleanser where it's here's this thing that nobody gives a shit about in between these two huge matches.
To be fair, it's always good seeing Paul White wrestle. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge fan of him. But
I mean, I don't get me wrong, I am too, but like I don't know if I need to see him wrestle anymore. Like
fair, no. Think about it. Paul White's 1-0. Shaq is 1-0. The match of the lifetime can happen.
Fuck's sake. Oh boy. I mean, shit. Shaq took a table bump, so dude, I did see that.
He took a sick table bump.
I saw that.
Those fuckers.
I was like, I had to rewind it. I was like, they didn't get a stunt double. That's really Shaq. Like I couldn't believe it.
That's really. Yeah. That's all 7 foot of them.
Yeah, that was wild.
All right, so CM Punk versus Darby Allin. I love this opening because I thought Darby was going to get destroyed by the Chicago crowd. But no, it was mixed the entire time. Half were going for Darby.
Yeah, even they had they had dueling chants going for a little bit, and the CM Punk chants were louder, sure, but there were definitely some Darby Allin chants during that.
Which goes to show you how over Darby is.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you actually care about building superstars, Vince. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that?
and I'm sure it helps having Sting in his corner. That's a pretty cool pairing.
And the fact that Punk has literally put over Darby more than anybody ever has.
Yeah, he's straight up saying if I was a kid watching it, Darby would be my favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
And then the dueling promos of Punk saying that, and then Darby saying, "When I was 15, CM Punk was my favorite wrestler." So I'm just
that's another thing. Another minor criticism of AEW in general. I think that their promo video packages could be better. They're kind of generic and they leave a lot out. I feel like they don't really go into the story and the history. I don't know. That's one thing that WWE often does excel at, are the video packages. And even the Mutra Schmodown, they excel at that too. And I think that's something that AEW is kind of lacking in. But that's a minor criticism because they do such a good job of telling the story within the
ring. Be fair though, Tony Khan is editing everything now.
Really?
He edits Dark Elevation, Rampage, and Dynamite.
He's editing everything, and he's the head booker, and he's the one backing everything financially. That's wild.
And what's cool about him is listening to the scrum, which guys, believe me, we will get to this match in just a second. You could tell that everybody loves working with him. And
yeah.
Clearly a huge pro wrestling fan.
Yeah, he's such a fucking dork, and that's exactly who you want to be running a wrestling company. It's just a
someone who's passionate
dork
about it.
Yeah,
Dude, like during the
Because you see him and he's like, oh wow, he's truly like one of us. Like yeah.
one of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but during the Adam Cole press conference thing they had after the show, he was fucking around with Cole. He was hugging him. They were hugging each other. They were just like, you're just like, this is awesome. Someone who like all the talent loves working there. They don't feel like they're going to work.
Right.
So to the match, it's a very technical start to begin with from both competitors. Kind of saw it from Punk. Darby surprised me how technical he started and how slow the match kind of built from the wrist lock that he had or the hammerlock he had, which Darby would not fucking let go of that shit.
Right, he's like flipping around, he's like hanging on. Yeah. And like when they're starting with like these like rest holds and stuff, like I already knew like what the match is gonna be. I knew it was gonna be like a slow like escalation, and then things are gonna get higher and higher. And that's exactly what happened. And those are like some of my favorite kinds of matches. Like as much as I love the high octane stuff of like Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks, where it's just right off the get go and it never stops. I also really do appreciate matches like this too, because this was easily my second favorite match of the night.
Really?
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Oh, I mean, I did too, definitely. So skipping forward a little bit, Punk hits the first GTS on Darby, but Darby's momentum sends him outside the ring, and you can see Punk's face. He's like, "Damn it!"
Yeah, great sell on Punk. Yeah, he's like, ah.
Darby's,
and then I was surprised that Punk, at his willingness to take a countout victory, which shows that like I might not get another chance to put this guy away. So if I can take a countout victory, I'll take one.
Yeah, it shows how urgent Punk is to end the match, because he knows that Darby's been thrown through tables and barrels and fucking staircases. He's like, I'm gonna have to do a lot to fucking end this.
Jumping off helicopters and shit. Yeah.
Yes. So then Darby picks up the pace, multiple coffin sentons off the ropes, which I love when he does that. He like springboards on the ropes and then does the coffin shoulder tackles. Punk hits a great leg lariat on Darby. Darby looks for a poison Rana. Punk counters it into a GTS for the victory. Great match. Punk shows he can still go after 7 years.
Right. I love the moment where Darby went for the coffin drop, and then Punk just sits up and avoids it. And then starts laughing and gets cocky, and then Darby Allin immediately rolls him up into like a pity thing. Yeah, that was a great sequence. That was really fun.
Definitely. And then we have Paul White versus QT Marshall after this. Pretty much a big squash match. Good to see the big guy, not Ryback, but Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know anything about any of these guys except for Paul White, and they were just kind of like cannon fodder. and then Paul White wins.
The guy with the long hair, Aaron Solo, he took a fucking big ass choke slam on Rampage. Did you see that shit?
I did not know.
Paul White just lifts him up and just lets him drop. He doesn't come with him or anything. He just lets him drop.
Nice.
I'm like, I love that. Like, he just like picks him up and just like, oh, you're gonna fall, like a choke slam jackhammer. Or jackknife, I mean, not jackhammer. It's not Goldberg.
Jackhammer's a different move.
Yeah, very very dangerous, I've heard. But we move on to our main event. Christian Cage going against Kenny Omega for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Very great match. Very great closer. I do want to talk about Omega botching the moonsault on the guardrail and then just like, hey, I fucked up.
Like he played it off really well too, and then did an even more impressive move to like stop it. Like yeah.
Which, again, I know I was watching this and I said it out loud. I was like, botches are gonna happen, and the one thing I hate is when wrestlers try to cover up a botch they already made, because then it just looks worse. If you just botch, say fuck it, and then do another move, you move right past it.
Yeah, especially like because the fact that like he went for like a simple moonsault and slipped, and then like covered it up by doing a super complicated version of a moonsault
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, I'm still fucking better than you. Like I can still do this crazy shit. Laugh at me all you want, but can you do this? Wacha.
Wacha. So yeah, the match again, kind of like with Darby and Pac, started off real slow, real technical. Christian trying to stop Omega from picking up the pace. Omega picked up the pace more and more and more, and then we cut to the ending where Christian goes for a top rope kill switch, gets countered from Omega into a super one-winged angel for the victory. Holy shit.
Yeah. No one's kicked out of a one-winged angel. You're definitely not fucking kicking out of an avalanche
top rope.
one-winged angel.
Nope. So after the match, yeah, nothing really happened after the match, right? We just cut it off.
No, yeah, just a couple people showed up and the show ended.
Yeah, that was it. Nah,
really predictable ending.
Yeah, I know, right? After that, the Elite comes out. They are kicking down Christian. Out comes Jurassic Express. They get beat down, and then Omega on the mic says, "The only people who could beat me are retired or already dead." Lights go out. Fucking Adam Cole returns from the dead.
Great new music. Also, I don't know if you like listen to it. I found that they uploaded the song on YouTube on
Really?
All Elite like music or something, and I listened to the whole thing. It's really good.
I'm gonna have to listen.
It's sort of like a version of the Undisputed Era music, like with lyrics.
Yeah. I could kind of hear the sampling of the beat.
Yeah, it's like it's all about the boom.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you watch Being the Elite at all or have watched past episodes.
I watched one episode from a few weeks ago. It was the one where somebody got oh shit, what's that guy's name? He's the little guy who got in trouble because of stuff he said on the podcast. He's part of the Inner Circle.
Sammy Guevara?
Sammy Guevara, yeah. He someone got him to go outside some woman's hotel room with like note cards, and he's putting them down.
Oh yeah, the Leaf of Bates, and it's Peter Avalon the whole time.
Yeah, I saw that one, and then the one guy. Oh God, what's the guy's name who records stuff for the Young Bucks matches?
Brendan Cutler.
Yeah, Brendan Cutler's recording stuff, and the Good Brothers are talking about jizzing their pants and stuff, and yeah. So I saw that one, and I heard that they killed off Adam Cole in a previous episode, and I saw the screenshot of him with tongue sticking out and stuff.
Yeah. So before he signed his NXT contract, before he debuted, they killed off Adam Cole's character on Being the Elite. So they have him black and white with his tongue out, and it says R.I.P. Adam Cole the character or something like that on the bottom.
Yeah. So that little reference where he says,
"Funny enough,
dead." Yeah.
So right after TakeOver 36, after the Cole and O'Reilly match, Cole's contract expired that night. At 12:01, the Young Bucks had a new bio. It was a YouTube link. You click on it, and the video is showing you how to perform a seance.
Nice. That's good.
You fuckers. God.
I like how they're not afraid to because they seem to be aware that we know when a big return is going to happen. Yeah. They don't really try too hard.
They don't try to
pretend that it's not going to happen. Everyone knew CM Punk was going to be there. Everyone knew that Adam Cole was probably going to show up. Maybe not last night, but yeah. I mean, with everything that the Young Bucks were doing and stuff. But yeah, that was a nice.
So yeah, Cole was the only big surprise, right? He comes out, and you think that he's gonna retaliate against Omega for what he did to him in Japan, which was he kicked him out of the Bullet Club. You know how that happens.
And also murdering him.
Yeah, for murdering him, But no, he super kicks Jungle Boy. joins the Elite, creates again the Super Elite.
Yeah, which makes sense because Adam Cole is like such a natural heel. Even though he seems like a really likable guy outside of wrestling.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, he's so good at being an asshole.
See, I feel like this is more long-term storyline booking from AEW. I can bet you anything by the end of the year or by the start of next year, Adam Cole will be facing Kenny Omega.
You don't think they're leading more to Hangman Page?
No, I mean, they're going to do the Hangman Page match. I think they're going to wait till Revolution or Double or Nothing next year.
So maybe not like for the title or anything, but just like a grudge match between the two of.
I can see a grudge match. I can also see the title on the line, and the Elite turns on Cole to cost him the title. You can turn Cole kind of like a tweener, where like he's not really a babyface, but he's just, he's done with the Elite's bullshit.
Yeah.
And this is
or I mean,
all literally keeping your friends close and your enemies closer. He wants to be closer to Omega.
Or even like the other way, if you want to change, if you want to
have the Elite turn
Omega. Yeah, turn Omega face, because I know that he's kind of like the crown jewel of AEW at this point. And I would think that their like long-term intention would be to have Omega be like the face of the company.
What I see happening is Omega losing to Hangman Page for the title, and then you could start turning Omega face.
Yeah.
That's what I would do, because they've built this storyline with Hangman Page for like 2 years.
Because wasn't it like he was having like alcohol problems, and it was like kind of causing friction within the Elite, and then eventually, like, they just all turned heel except for Hangman Page.
This goes back to like early New Japan, when Hangman joined the Bullet Club in Japan. He always felt like he was, the odd man out. And they just continued that odd man storyline through his rivalry with the Bucks when he was the Omega, him joining the Dark Order and being friends with them, the Outcast, being kind of, exiled away from other people. To even now, like I understand the real reason why, because they wanted to cap it off here at All Out. But of course, congratulations to Hangman Adam Page and his wife for, I believe they just had their baby recently. Hence why he couldn't be here at All Out. But just the continuation storyline is going to be even better when it's either Revolution or Double or Nothing when Page wins the title.
Yeah, and with the introduction of Adam Cole, that's like adds a whole other element to that story.
Yeah.
It's like another hurdle that Hangman Page is probably going to have to overcome.
Yeah. So Cole comes in, kicks Jungle Boy in the face, which I'm super excited for a Jungle Boy and Adam Cole feud. Come on. That's going to be great.
Yeah. I don't know much about Jungle Boy. I know that he's been mentioned a lot by like these new people coming in. Like, I think Punk, Cole, and Daniel Bryan all mentioned Jungle Boy by name.
Who's Daniel Bryan? I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, I did the thing.
But yeah, Jungle Boy is easily one of the top stars in AEW.
Nice.
It's like him and Darby Allin are like the two fan favorites.
Wow.
Like his dad was actor Luke Perry, who was a huge wrestling fan.
Really?
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Luke Perry's son, Jungle Jack Perry.
Wow.
Yep. I just blew your mind on stream.
Learn something new every day, I guess.
Yep. And yeah, dude, he's awesome. Definitely check out some of his matches with like Jericho. His one with Jericho is really good. A lot of matches with Jurassic Express are really good. But Cole says that he's a part of the Elite. They do the famous "Give me a kiss," $1 on each cheek, and then they just continue beaten down. Omega goes for the goodbye and good night. Win. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I was kind of hoping for the final countdown, but they wanted like $50,000, and I was just like, yeah, no.
What's the deal with the final countdown?
That was
Did he?
that was Bryan Danielson's theme song in Ring of Honor. He used to come out to that by Europe.
Huh.
ROH
Was Ring
had to
of
pay.
Honor able to afford it?
Ring of Honor was able to use it for a few months, and then they were just like, we can't afford to pay for this anymore.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I love this remix of his theme
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
It's really
yeah.
good.
I dig it.
Out comes Bryan Danielson. Holy shit, they did two massive debuts back to back.
Yeah, on top of the two other debuts they did earlier in the
On
show.
top of
Suzuki
Suzuki and Soho.
Ruby Soho, yeah.
You're just
Just
like,
like
holy shit.
They're like, we could like sprinkle this out over the next few weeks or months. Fuck it, drop it all on one show. Like that's the thing. Like watching this show, like it wasn't just that it was like a good show. It genuinely felt like a shift in like the landscape of professional wrestling.
To be
Like it feels really big, and like
Yeah.
things are like different now.
To be honest, I feel like WWE gets in more trouble as AEW progresses.
Yeah, I don't know how much trouble, because I know that like they're like still like the most profitable that they've ever been.
But
the fact that like
the
the
TV
ratings are going down.
the ratings are going down, and how much do you think Fox and USA are going to keep a show when the ratings keep tanking?
That's fair. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like even if they're on a different network, I think that there's enough like Stockholm syndrome fans to continue to watch no matter
I've
what.
for so long.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to feel like. Where I'm like, man, why the fuck am I watch it? Like, it's to the point where like I'm sitting down and I'm like, if somebody came in the room and saw what I was watching, would I be embarrassed? And the answer a lot of the time was yes.
Yes.
Like at SummerSlam when Xavier Woods came out with the Super Soaker, I'm like, what am I doing with my life, man?
Dude, it's like the scene from Godfather Part 3 where he's like, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
And like with this show, there's not a single moment where I would have been embarrassed at someone walking in at me watching it. Everything was awesome on this show.
Just imagine if someone walked in during the Canadian Destroyer. They'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like what did he need to do? Like how is that even physically? How is he not dead? Like
yes. This show alone shows me why I prefer to watch AEW every week. I've never missed a Dynamite or Rampage. I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown since before the Rumble in January.
Yeah, I watch like this YouTube channel called Wrestle Talk. They'll do like really quick reviews.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll watch like the Raw review in 5 minutes or whatever. And even then, watching
like,
that,
why am I watching this?
Yeah, it's still like a struggle where it's like just the brief synopsis is enough to make me like annoyed and like give me a headache. Because like, what
I mean, at that point, you're just like, I've convinced myself that I don't need them. Because why?
Yeah.
They don't care about me. Why should I care about them? You can tell AEW and Tony Khan cares about his audience.
Yeah, and it's like I saw a post on Facebook today in a group I'm in where it's like there's genuinely nothing that WWE can possibly do that can match the buzz that AEW just generated with this show. No. Like, even if like The Rock shows up, like, what is he gonna do? Like, talk shit to Roman Reigns? Like, yeah, that's what we kind of expect.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, gonna show up and then lose to Roman, which is fine. And I still like that's the match that I would like to see because I think that Roman is like one of the best things in the entire company right now. But it's like,
He's literally holding the company together.
yeah, and because like I don't know, even Bobby Lashley I think is doing really good stuff. But it's like the thing with AEW, like with these like debuts and stuff, it's not just that we're getting excited because we see someone we know. It's we're excited because we know that they're going to do something interesting in this show. That's
Yeah.
something that he hasn't really. They've lost the benefit of the doubt at this point because, like,
Yeah.
even if someone massive shows up, it's like, well, they're probably going to be jobbing to fucking T-Bar and Mace in a few weeks. So it's like,
oh my God, Donovan Dijakovic, what are you doing?
yeah, so it's like, why should we get invested? Like,
dude, it's like at that point though, you're just like, why should I even watch Raw and SmackDown when I've got AEW and Impact and fucking all these other companies that I can watch that are working together?
yeah. Like, I completely gave up on watching Raw, but I would tune SmackDown every now and then because I don't have cable, but like they upload shorter versions of the show, thank God, on Hulu. So like they take the 3-hour Raw and cut it down to an hour and a half, and even that's tough to sit through. So but yeah, I would tune into SmackDown every now and then, but it's like the Roman Reigns segments can only do so much when like
Yep.
the tag team division is in fucking shambles.
Again, they have a
and,
tag
like,
team division. I'm still surprised.
yeah, like the Usos are doing everything they can.
Of course they are.
The Mysterios are doing what they can, but it's like,
oh my God, look at the Mysterios. You hear that Vince wanted to break them up?
I think they're gonna. There's like tension between them right now. Like, yeah,
I can't with this company right now.
yeah, it's rough. It's rough. It's like, you remember like way back in like the early 2000s when Kanye West was like, George Bush doesn't care about black people. It's like Vince McMahon doesn't care about tag team wrestling.
Yes. But like, as you're saying, like, we don't get excited because it's not that we are just excited because it's someone we know.
Yeah.
It's because of the fact that we know that everybody who's debuted as this big return have always worked with someone of a younger talent. It's not like fucking Goldberg where he shows up, squashes the Fiend in 2 minutes, and then takes the world title in Saudi Arabia. You ever PTSD flashbacks?
And it's also because they're going to Saudi Arabia again soon. He's probably going to face Bobby Lashley.
And they're bringing back The Undertaker.
Yeah. Oh,
God. Why? But, like, it's because everyone that has debuted in AEW they've all said the same thing. They are there because they want to work with the younger talent. They want to help them evolve. And you got people like Big Show and Mark Henry who are working with the bigger guys in the company to make them better behind the scenes. You have guys like Cole and Bryan who are going to be working with guys like Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. You've got a killer tag team division.
Yeah, and it's not just like with like, because often with big WWE returns, it's like it'll be a great moment when they show up, but then it becomes very clear that they didn't really think of a long-term plan. Whereas like when CM Punk came out, he immediately called out Darby Allin, and they got right into that feud.
And they actually teased that earlier. Because remember on Rampage, on Dynamite, Darby Allin says something like, people...
Oh, the best in the world thing?
Yeah. People are claiming that they are the best. You come to AEW to prove that, even if you're the best in the world.
Yeah. And then even like that maybe is leading to a feud with Sting, or like that can lead to like so many things, because like we've learned that we can trust AEW.
We can trust the process.
Yeah, with like having a plan for all of these different wrestlers. And that's another thing. It's such a small thing, but like when they were breaking down the rules of the Casino Battle Royal, and said, "Next, these 5 wrestlers are going to enter the match." It's like, oh yeah, that's what they're called.
Yeah, yeah, they're
Like,
not superstars; they're wrestlers.
yeah, like
They wrestle for a living.
right. That's what the W stands for. Yeah, wrestling.
It's just like you love. Well, I love AEW because one, I'm excited. I'm excited again to watch weekly wrestling, which I haven't been for a long time. Like,
Mhm.
as I was a kid, I got excited whenever Monday or Friday came, and it's like, oh, SmackDown's coming, so I get to watch SmackDown. Now I'm like,
Yeah, I'd be
it's
like,
fucking
mad. I'd be
Wednesday.
like, Mom, we got to get home by 6
Yeah,
so I can watch SmackDown. I guess.
yeah, and now, I'm in my 20s, and I'm like, dude, it's Wednesday. Dynamite's tonight. I'm fucking hyped for these matches. Or, hey, it's
Yeah.
Friday. Rampage is happening. What matches are we having on there? Pac versus Andrade? Hell yeah. I'm watching that match.
That's a shame. 'Cause that's one of the ones I was most excited for the All Out card.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least
I
we're still
wonder
getting it.
I wonder why Pac couldn't make it. If it was like a real reason.
I think it was. I don't think they would have put that match off for a storyline purpose
No.
because, like, especially since like you didn't need to have Paul White versus QT
Yeah.
Marshall. Like, you could have had that fight. And then the thing, like, when Andrade was cutting that promo, I'm like, this guy has had this cool of a voice this whole time, and they never
I know,
fucking
right?
let him talk. Are you kidding me? Like, you never let him talk in a microphone, and he sounds this cool when he talks. What is wrong with you?
Dude, hold on one second. Yeah, I love the pairing of Andrade with Chavo Guerrero.
Yeah.
That is so that's so good. Because Chavo can be a great mentor to Andrade. You know what I mean? They can work off each other really well. Like, fucking during the interview when Andrade is like, hey, you cancel Pac's flight, he goes, what flight?
Yeah, and it's just nice to see Chavo on TV again, honestly. Like, in that
Yes.
capacity.
I know he was doing a lot of like stunt work for like Glow at one point, I think. The Netflix show.
Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carlito was on that show too. Remember when Carlito came back?
Yeah.
Remember that?
At the Rumble, and now he's just like nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I don't even think he's in the company anymore.
Not surprising. Fucking Nick Khan budget reasons. God, I fucking hate that.
Insane.
Dude,
Insane.
You are profitable.
But also like kind of grateful because now we're getting to see all these great people in AEW, like Ruby Soho and Adam Cole. Well, Adam Cole was a fucking accident because they fucked up. How did they fuck up Malachi Black's contract and Adam Cole's contract over the span of a few months? Like,
dude, they fucked up Malachi Black's so much they didn't even realize for the 8 months that he was on the main roster that he still had a fucking NXT contract.
Oh God!
And you're just like,
that is so funny.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so funny.
You're just like, how do you fuck up twice?
Yeah, to that extent. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, boy.
All right, so let's call it a night here. Oh wait, I do want to bring up Dynamite this week. We do have Jon Moxley versus Suzuki, which will be a fucking great match. You've got and they're labeling it as a homecoming match. You've got Malachi Black versus Dustin Rhodes, which will be a great match too.
Nice.
And then Ruby Soho will make her first Dynamite appearance after winning the Battle Royal. She'll be doing like an in-ring, probably something to set up her and Britt Baker.
Yeah. Do you think she's gonna have a match before that title match happens?
Probably somewhere on like Dark or maybe Rampage. Something kind of lighter to, make sure she doesn't get injured before her title match.
Yeah, maybe like facing like some like developmental wrestler.
Yeah, and see, that's what I love about what AEW is doing with their YouTube channels, like Dark Elevation, is that you get to see new stars, but you also get to see like wrestlers racking up wins that then go to Dynamite and have like a fucking 10-0 record.
Yeah.
And now they're ranked in the top 5 now.
That's another thing about AEW that like kind of like caught me off guard was like them talking about the record, and it's like, oh, wins and losses matter here. That's nice.
Yeah. If you win, you get booked more. You get moved up in the ranking system. You lose, like Hangman Page was ranked number 1 for 3 weeks. He lost a match to Brian Cage, who wasn't ranked. That knocked him down to like number 3 or number 4 in the rankings. Because nice. You lost to an unranked person.
Yeah.
I mean, that will happen. Like,
mistakes.
And all of it makes sense because every match now you're just like, well, it's not like in WWE where like, oh, they won, I don't care because Vince is just going to book who he wants to book.
Yeah, it's like WrestleMania last year, Kevin Owens faced Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens wins that match, and then Seth Rollins gets a WWE title match the next pay-per-view for no reason.
It doesn't
he didn't win
sense.
anything. He just attacked Drew McIntyre and then had a title match.
I don't know. I love the idea of trying to take pro wrestling and make it into a real sport. Where you have rankings, and the rankings can change. Like they update every Wednesday. So
yeah, it makes it feel like every match matters.
Every match counts. I mean, hell, Christian Cage was 10-0 before he fought Kenny Omega. Now he's 10-1. That's going to drop him down from the number 1 spot, and someone else is going to be brought up Wednesday when they update the ranking system. I think that's where we're going to end it. We were only supposed to go an hour. We went like an hour and 30 minutes, and 30 minutes of that was just bashing WWE.
It was a big show. It was a big show.
It was a great show. Kirby, where people find you online?
Just Kirby French. I'm not online that much. You can check out the movie trivia challenge here on Nerd Entertainment Network. I'm also over at TMG Trivia. We actually just did the Geek for All, which will be airing, I believe, Sunday. Spoiler alert: I didn't win. But when you watch the match, you'll see how not of a spoiler that is. But
I didn't either.
I hope at the very least I maybe will make some people laugh with my truly pathetic attempt.
All right, guys. If you did enjoy this, hit the like button, subscribe to the Nerd Entertainment Network down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.